And we are live. Hold on, let me put the stream in the community tab. Um, we gonna get into this. We gonna get it because I got some shit to say. Whew, oh my god, I can't believe what I just watched. I can't believe what I just watched. Punch after punch, taking punch after punch, and we still fought back and won that game. Jimmy looked like he having an uncharacteristic offensive night, but still goes 12 for 25. Bam, again, missing a couple bunnies, but late in the game was amazing. I got some things to say about the national media, for real. Stephen A. Smith, Chris Broussard, I don't know who else, any other show. I know Nick Wright, Skip Bayless, all Max Kellerman and Jay Williams have all been on the Heat train. But those national TV shows that don't know how to talk about basketball, and the entire time after the Heat won Game 1, the entire conversation was about what the Celtics did wrong and not what the Miami Heat did to actually put them in those positions. We played this team 3 times in the last 4 years. This is nothing new we've seen from this team. We are the best matchup for these guys every single year, and every single time we match them in the playoffs. It's about what they can do to beat us and not what the Heat are doing to put them to the bed. I hate it every single time. It's the same thing they do with the Nuggets. It's constant Lakers coverage. Nothing about the Heat and what they're doing well. Well, not what the hell y'all gonna do. Up 2-0, going back to Miami. All you gotta do is win one in Miami, and this series is probably done. You're not getting anything. I don't think you can I don't think they can win this series if they don't. They don't have a chance in this one. I feel like the series is over already. But if we get just one in Miami, this series is more than done. We get two. If we get both, it's over. But if we get just one in Miami, this series is done because we're up 3-1, and I count on Jimmy winning at least one out of the next three to put these guys going to the NBA Finals. But we got to talk about a couple of things this game. Bam having a struggling offensive night, almost ends up with a triple-double. 22, 17, and 9. Clutch rebound at the end to put us up by 5. I think before Jason Tatum got that 3-point foul. Jimmy Butler, 27, 8, and 6. 3 steals, 2 blocks, 12 of 25 shooting, giving them nothing but fifth. Didn't hit a 3 this game and didn't get to the free throw line like that. Was 3 for 3, and they were missing a lot of calls on him. Max Strus, 3 for 4. Max Strus, 2 for 5 from 3, giving this team steady offense, 11 points. But Caleb, 25 points, 4 rebounds, 11 to 16 shooting, 3 for 7 from 3, kept us in that game. We were down by double digits, and I'm pretty sure Caleb rattled off like 8 straight points to get us back in this game. This man is nothing but... Let me put the invite in chat if anybody wants to come up, because I know Mike and them probably do want to come up when they do get in the stream. But nothing but absolute masterful game tonight. It wasn't no offense. Tatum obviously had a very good game. He was pushing the issue. They were killing us with that middle of the lane pick and roll, and he was decimating us. He almost had a triple-double, 34, 13, and 8. But Jaylen Brown sold 7 of 23 tonight, 1 for 7 from 3. You think that elbow probably is bothering him? I do not care. And then Grant Williams, dumbass, 9 points, 2 rebounds, 2 assists. You played well coming in for your first game in a while. You don't get 90 minutes, and the first thing you do when you come back is egg on Jimmy Butler while down 80, while you're up, I think 11? And since then, you just get destroyed. Scores on you 3 different times. Why do you keep poking the bear? I don't care what y'all do. I'm not even going to give y'all any advice. Keep poking the bear and see what happens to y'all. Tonight, their 3-point shooting, again, they suffered pretty bad. 10 for 35. They have a winning game this series, and they're due for one, which is going to be tough for the Heat to mitigate, but it is what it is. Yes, I do want to thank Bam I do want to thank Grant Williams for poking the bear. I don't know what the hell he was thinking after that. I really don't know what the hell he was thinking after that 3 talking to him. Ooh. But let's get into the next. Let me rattle off people today. K Love was getting abused in that pick and roll. I'm glad we went. The Zeller minutes was horrible in that first half. Jesus. And then in that second half, those K Love minutes after they went away from the double big, I'm glad Spo went back to Caleb Martin, because as long as there's not 2 bigs on the floor, there's no need for Kevin Love to be on the floor. And Caleb was giving them hell. Gives us another shooter, another body that can guard Tatum, and it's not as easy for him. He didn't get a lot of shots up in that fourth quarter because he didn't have somebody attacking the pick and roll. Simple as that. And with everybody else around Tatum not really in rhythm, Jaylen Brown missing all night, obviously this is what happens at the end of these games. And then to fumble the ball twice down the stretch. I don't know what's with either him and Jaylen Brown when they can't freaking dribble. They literally cannot dribble. for some reason. It's Heat in 4. Do I want to give Boston the benefit of the doubt and say they get no Heat in 4? Heat in 4. Heat in 4. What am I thinking? Heat in 4. I'm going with my guys, but let's go down the list because I already talked my shit about the national media. If you guys haven't seen, like I said, I call it national media for the simple fact of constantly, every single time the C team wins a game is about what the other team can do to get past them because they're not supposed to be winning these games. What do you say now? 2 games in Boston taken up 2-0. What else do you say about this team? What else can they do before y'all just admit that this team is good? What else? Oh, they're just the talent level on the other side of the court is just no. You can't get to this level with without top tier talent. Coach Spo is a great coach. You can't get to this level without top tier talent. Now the execution also comes with that. Having a great coach comes with that, and having a superstar like Jimmy freaking Butler is what happens. Oh my god. We can look at it tonight. First half, Jimmy wasn't really getting too much with the 2 double bigs in there, but Bam was being very aggressive on the offensive end, and we were getting a couple easy shots here and there. We were hitting the offensive glass, and slowly let Jimmy work his way into the game. And Bam was missing a couple chippies, but Max Strus hit a couple nice 2 threes. The only threes he hit in the game, but they came timely when the Heat needed some offense. Gabe tonight, after some dumb shots and that foul on Jason Tatum when he didn't need to foul him, comes back in and gives us the shot of shots. Kill dribble, step back, pull, game over. I just love it. I really do love it. I don't know if I should get the Heat video out tonight or tomorrow morning. I'm not gonna do it tonight. What else to say? Caleb coming off the bench. Whenever we needed a bucket, it was him. Whenever we needed a bucket, every single time. Whenever we needed the bucket, he was the one that hit it. Again, rattling off 8 straight points to keep us in that game after we went down by double digits. Playoff career high with 25. Duncan Robinson, when we were down, I'm pretty sure he 3 straight threes down, 3 threes down the stretch of the game, or 2 threes, 15 points. Him and Caleb giving us 40 points off the bench combined. That's with Kyle Lowry not playing well tonight, and that's with those horrible Cody Zeller minutes. Every single game is somebody else new, bro. And for all the people that all season long was on Bam's ass for either him not being a superstar, look what happens when he's not in the game. Look what happens when he sits down. Bam tonight was a plus 14. Cody tonight, -8. And sometimes it felt like it was worse. With him on the floor. Bam tonight, even though he was 7 for 17, a damn near triple-double, 22, 17, and 9. Put some respect on that man's name. I really don't know what else to say. It's honestly amazing. It's honestly amazing what this team is getting done right now. It really is. Jimmy tonight, 27, 8 rebounds, 6 assists, 3 steals, 12 for 25 shooting. Another pretty efficient game. Not to the level of what we saw early in the first round or something, but hitting timely shots. They were blocking a couple of them, but whenever he needs to get into his spots and hitting those shots, they can't stop him from getting into his spots. He didn't even hit a 3 tonight, and he still dropped 27 on y'all, almost 30. Great defense tonight. Robert Williams again probably had his best game of the playoffs so far. I'm pretty sure he only had 3 but 13 points. Was getting some bad foul. Another thing, please, when we're down here in Miami, can Bam get some of those foul calls? He's going to these guys' chests and he's getting hit, and he's not getting none of those foul calls. But Jason Tatum can get in the middle of the floor, jump into Bam's chest, fall on the ground, boom, whistle, send him to the free throw line. But Bam can get hacked and he's not seeing a damn free throw. Jimmy only had 3 free throws tonight. When you know how Jimmy plays, when you know how these guys can't guard him, when you know how many times they're smacking him, Jimmy only getting 3 free throws is criminal. So the refs are on your side, trying to give you all this one. Y'all still couldn't get it. I've been saying for the entire year, well, second half of the year, the Celtics do not move me. They don't. Again, Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum having the same problem that they always do. Never being able to play together. They're always just sitting there watching each other take turns. And when it was Jaylen Brown's turn today, stinky. Oh my God. Celtics fans left during 2-minute mark, and they say that Heat fans leave games early. Every single time we're beating any of these teams, guys are leaving early. But it's only Heat fans, right? The one time it happened in a game 6 in the NBA Finals when it looked like we were done. We leave and then we get that permanent marker on us forever. But whenever any other team does it, it's just they just look the other way. I hate. Oh my god! I know it's not gonna happen, but I really hope the Miami fans get to that arena early and just start letting the Celtics know where they're at. The Celtics have been great on the road though this season, so I'm pretty sure they're gonna come out with a little bit more fight. Obviously, if they lose one more game, they're pretty much out. I don't think even if you go down 3-1, you can trust that you can win 3 straight games in this series, especially with Jimmy Butler, the way Jimmy Butler and Bam Adebayo is playing. So they need to get both in Miami if they want to stay in the series. And I trust Jimmy and Bam to at least get one of them. And if we protect home court and we stay unbeaten on home court, we just put out the number 1 seed and we just put out the number 2 seed in this conference. And what? And now that I look at it last season, who knows? If Jimmy doesn't get injured, I think in that game 5, if Jimmy doesn't get injured in that game 5, what happens? If Jimmy doesn't get injured in that game 5, what happens? Again, people talking about the talent level of the Heat team. These guys are playoff ready. They've been battle tested year after year. These guys, we've been running it back with a lot of the same core for the past 4 years. The bubble, Jimmy, Bam, Tyler, Gabe, Duncan, were all on this roster before. Just add a couple more pieces. The year after that, then we add Max. Max got some run last year. Gabe got some run the past 3-4 years. These guys are battle tested. Kevin Love is an NBA champion. Kyle Lowry is an NBA champion. Caleb, the last 2 years, have been instrumental for this team. That's another thing. If he gets an in-between game, he's already a top-tier role player, but he enters in the realm like generally at the top of the top as role players if he's able to get an in-between game. Joining the show right now, my boy Mike. What do you got to say, my boy? Your camera on? There you go.
Whoop-de goose.
Your Wi-Fi is twerking right now
in this game. No, but kind of stabbing themselves in the foot a bit.
Jason,
for me,
I don't know
the player I saw that was causing the. Go ahead.
No, I'm saying Jason. I don't know what's wrong with Jason
Tatum. No, I was saying
Jaylen Brown. The fact that they cannot dribble for some reason, they really cannot dribble. Like it's honestly amazing to me.
In the fourth quarter, yeah.
Overall, they always get those type of turnovers.
But the thing is, though, I will say this: there was a lot of pressure on Jason Tatum. Yeah, I know.
Yes, he was the only one that could get anything going.
I do got to say this though, and a player that I thought for the Celtics should have been in the game in the fourth quarter, considering the alternative was Al Horford, was clearly Robert Williams. I mean, he showed throughout the game he was able to guard. He showed he was causing a lot of disruption in the paint. Like, be honest with you, that was a player I was kind of scared of in the fourth quarter, where I was like, oh man, as soon as they put him in, it's going to be a disaster for the Heat. Yet every minute that went by, he wasn't coming in. And it to the point where I saw him in the last minute. At that point, I felt like the game had completely changed. The momentum went completely in Miami's side, and Boston completely lost the game. For me, I don't like to blame coaches, but I feel like Mazzulla really.
This wasn't on Mazzulla. This wasn't on Mazzulla. Well, it wasn't on Mazzulla. It was on Mazzulla for the moment Grant Williams went in Jimmy's face to keep him on the court for another 4 minutes. Was the stupidest movie ever. You watched what he did to Drew Holiday. You watched what he did to Drew Holiday, and you kept him on the court. What the hell are you thinking? What the hell? You watch these guys keep poking the bear, and every single time they poke the bear, he continues to answer. What did Jimmy have down there? I think he missed one shot, but I'm pretty sure after Grant Williams did that, he was either 4 for 5 or 4 for 6. After Grant Williams went in, he was 4 for 5 or 4 for 6.
Yeah, I believe he missed like one. I'm pretty sure one of his misses was on Malcolm Brogdon.
Yeah, the moment it happened, the first thing I tweeted, The first thing I tweeted was Grant Williams is writing checks that Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum got to sign. You shouldn't be doing that. You saw what happened to a far superior defender than you and Drew Holiday, and you continue to poke. And look what happens to you. You get Jimmy gassed, and the moment Grant Williams does that, it looks like he caught his second win, and he just went at these boys. Like it's absolutely amazing. Jimmy was 4 for 6. He was 4 for 6. He missed one, I think, in the middle of the lane, and he missed that jumper on the baseline. He was 4 for 6 down the stretch after that. But 4 for 6, he ended 12 for 25, right? So that means Jimmy was 8.
Yeah.
Jimmy was 8 for 20, 8 for 21 when he did that. 8 for 21 when he did that, and then that happened.
Pretty much. Yeah, it was 8 for 21. One thing, as I mentioned with the baseline shot, and then back to my Robert Williams point, who was the guy that came in, cleaned that up, and then dunked the ball in? It was Bam Adebayo. Again, incredibly valuable this game. Constantly being a nuisance for Boston. He never went away, and he kept persisting. That's what I love, though. That's like, if Bam continues to do what he does, and that's play hard, constantly be aggressive, this team can beat anyone. This team can beat anyone. And honestly, today, I mean, it's just his shots weren't falling that much in the paint. But to be honest with you, like, that could change from game to game. He could have easily had a 30-point game tonight. So, I mean, yeah. There really is not much to say about this game because it was just a complete collapse by the Boston Celtics, man.
Celtics fans are already tweeting out, we don't want Kevin Durant on this team because Jaylen Brown is. Look, I don't think the Celtics fan can be this hard on Jaylen Brown when he injured his elbow the other night. I understand his jump shot probably doesn't feel the same right now. Yeah. The guys you really should be mad at is the fact that Jason Tatum went 0 for 3 in the fourth quarter. No matter how good of a game he had, going 0 for 3 in the fourth quarter is inexcusable. The one you want to look at is Marcus Smart that didn't have any effect in this game in that fourth quarter. The one you look at is Al Horford that's been a complete negative in the series. The ones you want to look at is Derek White, who after the first half was a no-show for the entire second half. If y'all want to blame people on y'all team, it's not Jason Tatum and he ain't Jaylen Brown, because at least Jaylen Brown has an injury excuse, and Jason Tatum is playing his heart out in those games. He's giving y'all cushions. The moment he went to the bench, that's when y'all stopped. Guess what? Y'all are up in this series, and your teammate decides to go poke the bear of the other team's best player that's been playing like prime MJ all playoffs long. You can't do anything about that. Then you have to switch him off of him and take him out the game because Jimmy's cooking him. Blame the rest of this team. You can't blame the two stars. Jaylen Brown, bad shooting night.
And be honest with you, yeah.
But you got to look at the others. The only other person I can say that showed up for the Celtics team was Robert Williams, and I guess Malcolm Brogdon didn't feel like much of a show in the second half. Like, the only two people that showed up for this team is Jaylen Brown and Robert Williams for the full 48 minutes. And Bam tonight. Oh.
But that's the thing, though. It's a lot of guys that should have been playing more that didn't. For me, I feel like Al Horford should have been pulled from the game in the fourth quarter. He was doing nothing. He wasn't impacting the game on board. His defense was subpar at best. And honestly, his idea of spacing the floor wasn't really working because they were just triple and double teaming Jason Tatum anyways. Honestly, Robert Williams was putting less pressure on him by diving to the basket, which, as far as these last two games, again, still perfect from the field. If I was a Boston Celtics fan, that's the key right there, as far as at least pulling out this game, was Robert Williams. Because, I mean, even with Jaylen Brown's performance, they were still up. He was hitting a timely shots at the end of the game. Really, this was just, again, Tatum looked like he had he ate a Butterfinger before the fourth quarter and just completely lost control of his ball handling ability. Yeah, I mean, frankly speaking, I feel like it was lacking was a type of organization and just being able to control the team, where I feel like a coach comes in handy. And Joe Mazzulla was not that today. It straight up felt like chaos. Every time they came out of a timeout, it felt like nothing was changed. He just kept letting his players do whatever. and it just
We
wasn't
have the
working.
stat right. We have the stat right now, Mike. Grant Williams hits a three to put the Celtics up by 9 with 6 minutes and 37 seconds left in the fourth quarter. After that, the Miami Heat went on a 24-9 run where they went 7 of 11 from the field and 10 of 11 from the free throw line. The Boston Celtics were 2 of 10 from the field. Stop poking the bear. Actually, you can't do it. You already poked the bear. If Grant Williams can't touch the floor no more, because this is what's going to keep. The thing with Jimmy is the man's psychotic. The moment you start letting him talk his shit, he starts playing into that. When he starts believing in his own bull, whenever you poke the bear, this is what happens. You can't have Grant Williams on the floor anymore because he's going to continuously get baked. The moment Grant Williams touches the floor, Jimmy's calling for that pick and roll, and he's attacking him every single time. Fantastic game. The whole time this game
it wasn't like he was having a horrible game.
He was having a really good game, but he had to screw it up by talking shit to the wrong person. And tonight, Caleb Martin, we are down double digits. He rattles off 8 points by himself straight, gets us back into this game.
Huge.
Playoff career high. Down the stretch of this game, he's the one guarding Jason Tatum. He's the one in that pick and roll, and he's forcing Jason Tatum to take some bad shots, and he's the one making Jason to make some mistakes dribbling that ball. I told you that this was our year. Thanks to Grant Williams for waking up Jimmy Butler. Heat in 4. Even if it's Heat in 5 or 6, the moment Miami wins 1 at home, this series is done. You can't count. If you count on Jason Tatum to win 3 straight in this series, you're nuts. You're nuts. You're nuts.
Because honestly, for me, it's just, and the idea is like, the big thing is that they can win anywhere. They can win anywhere. It doesn't matter if they play away; they're going to play the same that they do at home. It's like, but then what's the point of home court advantage? You know what I mean? What's the point of that if you're going to be the same at home that you are away? Like, and then this Miami team, they've shown they play better at home. This is a year long they play a home team. So, and typically we come out pretty slow.
We didn't. So, we threw the first. We threw the first punch. No. I'll give you. We threw the first punch. We went up by 7 early, and then Cody Zeller freaking came in and was an absolute freaking terrorist.
I'm telling you, he shouldn't play.
Allowing
seriously pointless.
2 easy layups and 3 offensive rebounds with him on the court. Bam comes back in. The Celtics are now on a run, but Caleb brings us back by his damn self. Shout out to Duncan too, because Grant Williams, whenever he went to Jimmy's, he was the one. He came in to sign the check for Jimmy with those 2 threes at first, and then Jimmy handled it the rest of the way.
Yeah.
But he hit 2 threes to bring this down to a
Duncan
manageable lead. Any single night, if it's not Max, it's him. If it's not him or Max, it's Gabe Vincent. And Gabe tonight, after that one, that wasn't a foul on him, that dumbass kick out by Tatum. But then come in, driving on Tatum, kill dribble, step back.
Yep. And then ices those free throws. I mean, Gabe Vincent, again, it's hit. What I love about this Heat team and what we've seen throughout this entire playoffs is persistence. No matter how much you're down, no matter whatever, even if you're playing like garbage, you continue to play well. I feel like Gabe Vincent learned that in the last series. He was playing bad, and that was straight up. He was playing bad, but he continued. He put us in great minutes, and just doing that. When everyone is bought in like that, it changes the scape of the game completely. Because and even the body language of Boston at the end of that game, like you see Jason Tatum like slouching, you see like you could tell from his dribble, it was lazy. It was overall, it just felt like a lazier game at the end by Boston. And the thing is
that they went away from what was successful with them, and the middle of the middle of pick and roll with Jason Tatum was working for them, but he wasn't getting Jason Tatum any shots. He was getting other people's shots, and the other guys were the only guy that hit him surprisingly was Grant Williams. Everybody else was either fumbling the ball. He threw one pass that was too strong that Grant Williams dropped out of bounds. He had that dump off on Grant. He had that dump off on the Grant, but then down the stretch, those 2 fumbles and he had 2 turnovers. That like, it's just these guys don't. Again, like I said, All season long, the Heat's been in clutch games with the freaking Detroit Pistons, Houston Rockets, um, OKC Thunder, Orlando Magic. We've been in those type of games. We are literally battle tested in these clutch games. Boston isn't. We've been in these positions more times than ever. Let me find the stat right now. I have the graphic. I have the graphic on my phone. I wish I could pull it into freaking stream. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Where is it?
Look at
right
it,
here.
I want to make it
win,
as well.
Like I said, it's not a Heat game until we're trailing by 10. It's not a Heat game until we're trailing by 10 points. Win percentages when trailing by 10 points at some point in the game, 71%. 71%.
Oh.
The thing about Boston is that they're not a 48-minute team. It feels like whenever they throw a punch, they feel like we're just gonna go away. They feel like, okay, good. They gotta start pushing back. They gotta start doubting themselves, right? No, until that final buzzer sound. I don't care if we're down by 10 with 3 minutes left. Do you not see what happened with Milwaukee? You need to play a full 48 minutes of hard basketball, or you're not putting this team away. And I don't know what Mazzulla can do anymore, because you can blame him all you want. But when Al Horford's a non-factor and can't do anything on the court, when Caleb Martin, Jimmy, and Bam are hunting Robert Williams in that pick and roll and making it hard for him, even if he is down there, a big body presence to give you some points, what he brings in those situations doesn't mitigate the fact that the Heat got going on him. When your two bigs can't produce consistently, and when your two guards, three guards, Marcus Smart, Michael Brogdon, and Grant and Derek White all disappear in the second half. I don't know how you can blame your coach for that at that point. Jaylen Brown you can't blame your coach for what's happening to you right now. Some of those things are just on the guys that are on the court. Joe Mazzulla isn't the reason Jason Tatum is out here freaking trying to. He lost the ball, kicked it, and then somehow got it back. Then he kicked his leg out for that foul. I am so glad we won this, because we lost because of some of that. And that he lost it, got back up. Marcus Smart passed it to him. Bam played perfect defense. Sent it to the free throw line. Bam comes down the other, gets hacked, can't get a freaking call.
Oh, yeah, and the foul, yeah. No, I mean, listen, this entire game, I feel like Bam got the short end of the stick. He was playing hellacious defense. He was the back line. He was doing everything for us back there. And honestly, like, I feel like he just was not getting the benefit of the whistle. I really don't like to see that, especially if it plays that hard, and it feels like he really deserved those calls, unlike some of the Boston that were just getting the whistle no matter what. You know what I mean? And I mean, you've seen the clip, right? It was last the Boston Celtics when Jimmy Butler hit the layup, and then the ref was like, oh, like, I mean, they got to do some background checks on these referees, because
it's honestly
series
amazing.
Decided by super fans as refs.
All right, but let's get into some X and O stuff right here. One thing for Boston, the only way they're going to be successful in this series is with that Tatum pick and roll, and for him to make good decisions in that pick and roll, and for guys to hit shots, or do what Jimmy does. Yeah. When the Heat, obviously Eric Spoelstra's game plan is going to force you to have to play one-on-one. He's taking away that three. He's taking away the three from Jason Tatum and some other guys, and he's also he's closing off the paint right now. If Jason Tatum is attacking that pick and roll, can't get downhill to the rim in crunch time, and other guys have to hit shots, wallahi. And if Jason Tatum, for how he started early in his career, for his mid-range games to be almost completely non-existent, it's absolutely insane. The only way the Celtics are going to succeed is if Jason Tatum, whenever he has smaller defenders on, like Caleb, like Gabe, is for him to turn his back down these guys and make good decisions, or being able to make some of those turnaround jumpers that Jimmy's making in those situations, or those pull-up middies, and he's just not getting those shots because he doesn't want to take them. In these pick and rolls, some of these passes that he's making to some of these guys, if he literally takes one dribble and takes a pull-up midi, that's a pretty good shot for him at 6'9" with that long of a wingspan. But guess what? He doesn't have the touch anymore. They called him Baby Kobe, and the moment people are like, you're not Kobe after you completely ruined him, and they tell him, go to the damn rim, he's completely abandoned that part. He completely abandoned that mid-range part of his game when it's useful in the playoffs. Guys like Jimmy, guys like Kawhi, guys like PG, guys like that that's been successful in the playoffs all have that mid-range game. KD
made a lot of his damage.
Luka Doncic. Guys, you have to have that in-between game to be successful. You have to have that in-between game to be successful in the playoffs. And for some reason, Tatum, he has the touch for it, but it just disappeared for him his entire career. I just don't think he works on it anymore. People are telling him, hey, why take that long two? Just take a step back and hit that three. When the team's taking that away and you're forced to take that long two, look what happens when you don't practice it. Look what happens. Look what happens when you don't have that part of your game. Jaylen Brown is the type of person that can hit those shots, but the problem with Jaylen Brown is the Heat are going to either double him and sell out on him. They're not going to double Jason Tatum because Jason Tatum at least can see the floor well enough to make some good passes. Jaylen Brown is the type of guy when you put him in those situations and he gets doubled, he's going to fumble that. He's not a good passer. He doesn't see the floor well to pick out the right passes to make. So if you put him in the position where he's the guy with the back to the basket,
Tatum's
he's
the right guy with the ball.
decision. Exactly. But Tatum doesn't want to take the shots that the Heat are going to force him to make, and that's going to be a problem down the stretch of every one of these games. The whole time, the Heat were just wanting to stay in it, wanted to stay at least close to striking distance. And the moment that happened, turn on the defensive intensity a little bit more and force Jason Tatum to make some dumb decisions or make some decisions that make other guys beat you. And the moment the Heat did that, this game completely flipped on its head. Obviously, it helps that Grant Williams is a dumbass. But again, schematic-wise, Jason Tatum, if they want to even have a chance of winning anyone in Miami, they have to hit those shots. And the thing about it is, if they start hitting those shots, you're not seeing Gabe. You're most likely going to see some Haywood Highsmith minutes because he's been able to give them some trouble. Again, I'm pretty sure Spo, in that first half was just trying. The thing about it is I just don't think Spo trusts some of them anymore. Just don't trust some of those guys in some of these minutes because he only trusts Haywood for like 4 or 5 minutes at a time in that Knicks series, and then he's done for the night. But he did his damage. You can't do that. Right now I think he's just playing Zeller because Zeller is a big body, and obviously he's going to be on the glass. He can at least sometimes maybe deter a shot. So he's just trying to play the waiting game, play the minutes game, see how long he can survive without Bam or Jimmy on the floor with Cody Zeller on it. And then as long as the game is a manageable point by then, you bring those guys back in. Bam almost played 40 minutes tonight, 38. I wanted to see him probably play 40, but it's okay. You won the game, whatever. Jimmy plays another 4. Jimmy plays, I think, 41 or 43, one of those. Tonight.
Yeah, he took a couple minutes off.
But... Exactly. And he got a
40.
What I love is that when he was on the bench in the beginning of the fourth quarter, the Heat kept this game close. He was able to get at least 4 minutes of rest, come back in the game fresh and ready to bait these boys. He was looking gassed in that first half because they were throwing multiple bodies at him. And the thing is, he normally gets his rest when he gets hit and he goes to the free throw line. You know, he can breathe, take a couple seconds here and there. He wasn't getting to the line. He wasn't getting those calls. And he plays too much of a brutal style of basketball where he's always getting hit and he's always running into people. And he has to make some of these tough shots and he's playing strong defense that he's going to get tired very fast. You can't play that type of basketball without getting tired unless you're getting to the free throw line, which the refs are giving those calls. But hopefully when he comes down here, he gets those calls. I please to God don't see Scott Foster or Eric Lewis. Eric Lewis is a known Celtics fan. None of those two, please. Just don't give me those two down.
Game 1.
Yeah, Eric Lewis or Scott Foster, not in as the ref, and I'm pretty sure Jimmy and Bam will get those calls, and we can probably see a more manageable game going down the stretch of these. But I gotta say, man, Pablo, my bad. I really hope Tyler's ready to play in these finals for us. We sure would need him to come off the bench. Yes, we're gonna need him because, again, Denver doesn't make some of these mistakes. Boston is. Jokic has been making some dumb passes. In this Lakers series, and he has been making some uncharacteristic mistakes. The problem is the Heat don't have a body like a Rui Hachimura or a Vando they can stick on to make Bam a roamer to make that series hard. Like Bam's gonna have to be able to guard him one-on-one sometimes. He's gonna, and you can't play zone in Nikola Jokic because the moment you give the ball to Jamal Murray at the top and you put Jokic in the middle, he catches that ball, he's picking you apart in the zone. So the zone is going to have to come in those non-Nikola Jokic minutes, and Bam is going to have to consistently go at him to get him in foul trouble to get him off the floor. If not, it's going to be a tough series for us that entire time. But right now, just focus on the series at hand.
That's a series, yeah. I don't even want to talk about that yet. I mean, for me, this Tyler thing, that's kind of a hard discussion to have later down the line. I don't know, really. Especially
we still have 2 more games. We still have 2 more games to win in this series.
And again, like D Master V93, he put a comment, we've come this far without him. Let's leave him out of the finals at least for 1 game. I wouldn't say that. If he's healthy, you play him because you want to at least get him some minutes. Yeah,
Yeah,
but that's the point though, where it's like if he's able to play, because right now he can't shoot and dribble. So if he's able to play, you put him in there. You got to give him some reps out there because we are going to need him down the line. Uh, but again, it's also manages minutes. You don't want him. You want to make sure
he
he gets
can't be
back
getting more
into the
than
flow of the game.
yeah, can't be getting more than 2025 for the first couple games.
Yeah, and honestly, the way this team runs, it's not something we really need out of him outside of those 20 minutes because that's the type of role
He
that
just
he
needs to come
can.
on here. He needs to come on here and shoot maybe 10, maybe like 5 for 11, 6 for 13 from the field. Get us two for 6 from 3 or 2 for 3 for 7. Just semi efficient Tyler minutes. At least give us maybe just give us some impactful scoring minutes, and that's it. That's all we need. Give him some minutes of Bam on the floor because that pick and roll every single time gets us a lot of beautiful shots.
Yeah,
But
it's something to work with.
let's not get to Denver right now. We have a series at
Yeah,
hand to worry about. And to beat this Boston Celtics team, he had the formula already. And the Celtics down, all you have to do is keep these games close, and the Celtics just shoot themselves in the foot.
yeah, pretty
The
much.
double big lineup, Rob will continues to get attacked. You play Al Horford on the floor alone, Bam eats that matchup up every single time. He's getting on the glass way too easy against them. He had 17 boards tonight. Um, but
17.
when he had 17 boards tonight. Um, I just don't
It's
know
crazy.
what else the Celtics they tried Peyton Pritchard, now they tried Grant Williams. At this point, you got to throw like Luke Cornett out there or Sam Hoosier or something.
But hold
Because
on, but I will say this though, because Grant Williams was working for a solid amount of time. He was doing solid defense on Jimmy.
guess
It
what?
wasn't the
But
best,
but
and then he
guess
poked
what?
the bear.
He poked the bear, and now he's on Jimmy's shit list for the rest of the series. You can't keep
Yeah,
putting him
that's
out there. It's different than if he wasn't on Jimmy's shit list. You could put him out there for a couple minutes. He may
yeah.
get a couple here and there. Now, the moment Jimmy sees his face, it's a pick and roll, and he's going at him every single time. You can't put him out there anymore because he's gonna eat him alive.
And again, listen, and a clear recipe here. Your team can't go 10 for 35 from three, especially if you're the Celtics. You got to help out Tatum as far as spreading the floor because they weren't respecting the Celtics line at all. The Celtics, they were easily able to double and triple team Tatum, and they left Al Horford wide open. They left Marcus Smart wide open. They left a bunch of these guys wide open because, simply put, there's no point in respecting them at the 3 point line. The only guy that's shot well today from the 3 point line was Derek White. I'm not really going to say Grant Williams because 1 for 2, it's two threes. You got to make more than that. But Derek White, the 3 for 5 from three, it's really good. You know, maybe utilize that a bit more. I don't know, or have the rest of your team. It's just they got to shoot better, especially Al Horford. If he's not hitting threes, he's pretty much useless out there.
He really
Especially
is.
because Joel Embiid isn't. I mean, Bam isn't Joel Embiid. You know, he's gonna attack you, and Al Horford is too slow
And you were
to
getting
keep
away
up.
with a lot. You were getting away with a lot while he was attacking you. They were getting away with a lot.
Yep. But the thing is, Bam understands. It's like, dude, this isn't Brook Lopez. This guy isn't like great at being able to get the hand on the ball or contest shots. Al Horford is too slow, you know, because with players like Giannis back in last year, he was pretty much just bracing himself. That was pretty much what he was doing. But with Bam, like he has a bit more elusiveness to his game, so obviously you could take advantage. And again, uh, and then another key point, the rebound battle. You let the Heat count boards, man. Lost by 12 rebounds. The Heat out rebounded the Boston Celtics by 12, and specifically, I mean, 11 offensive boards to 6. I mean, and especially with the way those offensive boards were taken into second chance points, we really capitalized on those rebounds. You know, for me, rebounding again, it's one of the most important parts of playoff basketball. And like Miami Heat did a great job of being able to not only rebound but take advantage. So I mean, that's pretty much that. And one more thing, because again we did it earlier, but Duncan Robinson was huge as far as being able to take advantage of this defense. Uh, he really opened up the court for a lot of our players, and it was great to see. His shooting ability and being able to cut, and he was able to get so many good looks. that obviously, I mean, with the way he was playing, in 20 minutes is not a stretch. You know what I mean? It was great to see a good Duncan Robinson out there because that's what we got uh, for him in the bubble. That's what we got from him, and it's great to see him back out there.
It's just
Wondering if that's
hilarious. The amount of shit that Grant Williams has got himself in regular season. I'm pretty sure he was the one that talked shit to Donovan Mitchell and then talk about I'm making both of them and miss both free throws that caused him to lose that game. And now he's doing the man needs to play basketball. Please play basketball. Oh my god. But again, tonight wasn't even a good 3-point shooting night for the Heat, was it? I don't think it was. Maybe it was average. Maybe it's average at best. Let me see. No, 34%. 34.6. Now, of course, Boston shot 10 for 35, which is unlike them. Because but again, Jaylen Brown's elbow, you can't count on him to probably be making a lot of shots anymore throughout this series. Grant Williams, even if he does come on the court, no matter what.
But that's not the guy, though. Malcolm Brogdon.
1 for 5. He's that guy. He's the X
from a player
factor.
like him.
Yeah, he's the X factor for them. Tonight, if he was playing a regular type of game where he went 2 for 5 or 3 for 5, Celtics probably do win this game. But it's just whatever this team needs from his players. No, never mind, because the threes that he was taking, that he was missing, it wasn't even like that they were open shots. One of them was blocked by Jimmy. The other one was a heave.
Right.
And another one, I'm pretty sure, was another really, really good defended one. So it's not even like he was missing open shots. No, the shots he was getting were very, very difficult. So never mind. That didn't move me. The Heat were just playing really good defense on that 3-point line, which allowed that to happen.
Yeah, I mean, you look at it. Jason Tatum was doing a lot of his damages on the drive. He was able to hit some threes, but for the most part, it was his driving ability and being able to get those tough shots in the paint that really. Those were the moments that Jason Tatum was truly impacting the game in a dangerous way. And yeah, I saw that comment.
Well, when I tell you I was shitting,
Cody Zeller's literally.
Y'all follow me on Twitter, FLB_YT, FLB_YT. I'm live tweeting the entire game. The moment I saw Cody come on, the moment I saw him, the first thing I tweeted out was no. And these minutes are killing. Another thing, Jaylen Brown be traveling his ass off, and they only called it once this game. Call it more.
Yo, so does Tatum, dude. Tatum loves to do it.
Oh, he carries a lot, but they're not gonna call carries like that.
Yeah.
He's the spark. Yes, giving up. The thing about it is that he comes in and it's not even. It's
just
not
for
even
reference, sort of like this. The
thing about Cody is not even. It's not even that he comes on and like. It's just a bad matchup for him. The moment he gets on is normally with a superior big like a Robert Williams that's on there, and he's out of place all the damn time for rebounds, so they get easy offensive rebounds, and he's not a rim protector at all, so Boston gets to the rim at will, and he normally is in for some reason when Jason Tatum's in. Why? I don't understand why. Why? If the only time he should be on the court is when Jason Tatum is taking his rest.
And what didn't make sense for me was Spoelstra coming out with that Love lineup at the second half because they went small, and Kevin Love doesn't fit going against.
By the way, like up the stream.
Too many
like up the stream.
Out there for him.
Yeah, like up the stream. Get the stream up to how many likes does the stream have right now?
No idea.
So how many likes does the stream have right now? Oh, never 18 likes. Keep liking it up. We try to get this to 30. You really get this pushed out. But the thing with what I love so far about Spo's rotation is the simple fact that one, he knows the moment when to pull he knows when to pull Max. He knows when to pull Duncan. He knows when to pull Gabe. Those crucial times of the game where they are very effective players, but there's certain times where they go through stretches where they're just terrorists on the damn court sometimes. There's time less Max. Because he was been playing some damn good defense. Yeah,
he's been
Duncan
tough
and
on
Gabe.
defense.
Duncan, this game, he hit some threes down the stretch, but he was having a couple bad plays here and there. He just got a couple of bad defensive plays here and there. And Gabe tonight, he was getting baked on the offensive end, on the defensive end. And the offensive end, he was taking some dumb shots because I don't know why. That one point when the game was in the balance and we were down by like 6, he took that like long 3, and then they come down and hit another 3 and they're up by 9.
Yeah, I remember.
Like the third quarter, like there's just moments of the game where sometimes they just have a lapse. So it's like he just feels when it's time to do it. Unlike Joe Mazzulla, where he needs to see a couple plays go bad. No, the moment you saw one go bad, suppose like, okay, I can see the avalanche coming. Get out of here. My homeboy's a Celtics fan, and all he's doing is bringing up last year. Cool. You lost in 6 in the NBA finals. Yes, you have one ring. You have one ring. You have one ring, and that's for the super team. You haven't won another championship since then. Since you haven't won a championship, you have won one championship on black and white TV. That's not on black and white TV. You've won one championship in color TV. I don't care about 17. I don't care about 17 titles. Wild. You won one championship on color TV. I don't want to hear it. Again, I've said it year after year. I've said it for the past since we went to the finals back in the bubble. The only franchises in the past 30 years that compare to the Heat is Golden State, San Antonio, Chicago, and the Lakers. And Chicago was on the earlier parts of that 30-year run. That was 19. Chicago, that's from 93 to now. Chicago Bulls have 4 chips. Wait, 90. Yeah, 4 chips, 4 or 5 chips in that span of time, because 4 or 5 chips in the span of time. Okay, 4 chips. Golden State has 4, San Antonio has 5, and the Lakers have 3, 4, 5, 6. They have 6 in that span of time. The Heat have 3. Right? The Heat have 3, but they also have 6 finals appearances. They also have 7 conference finals appearances. I'm pretty sure. No, 8.
Because we got 3.
This is 8.
In that period, 8.
Wait, did we make the conference? Did we get out in the second round of the conference finals in 2005? The first year with Shaq.
We went to the conference finals. We lost to
Detroit. 9. So 9 conference finals during that span of time.
I don't think
Coach spoke. No. Actually, never mind. What am I? Wait, did we make the conference finals with those Heat teams, the Tim Hardaway, Alonzo Mourning ones?
I don't think so. We lost.
Yeah, I think we were always a good regular season team. We were constantly getting out in the second round or first round or some shit like that.
That was injuries and stuff. And
again, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 4. So that's 6, 9. Yeah, 9. Those again, the Heat are an exemplary franchise. The Celtics have constantly been in and out of purgatory for those times. For those times, the Heat may have 1 to 2 down years, and they're right back in it. And none of us had to tank and get lucky with a stupid ass trade to do what we're doing right now. We actually run well over here.
Yeah,
Jesus, I don't know how you saw that. I don't know if that KD trade was really on the table. I don't know how you saw KD being available with his contract still being that long and think, let me keep Jaylen Brown. That's not even a bad thing on Jaylen Brown, though. He's a great player. But when you have a chance to make that type of upgrade, it's absolutely insane that he don't pull that trigger. Trigger.
Like an accent just came out.
This offseason may be Jaylen Brown's last year in a Celtics uniform. Whatever way the Celtics do, and I think they'll be better off for it. And not because Jaylen Brown's a bad player, but Tatum and Brown just don't work, man. It just doesn't. I get it. They made the NBA Finals. They made it to the NBA Finals. That's largely off the back of not only Chris Middleton getting hurt, but Jimmy getting hurt in your conference finals also too. And then you ran into the Warriors and they run you off for court when the Warriors were the least talented Warriors team for any one of their championships. Every single time you made the conference finals in the past couple of years, whether it was against Cleveland and they blew you out the damn water, whether it's against us in the bubble, we blew out the damn water, even when you beat us. And now you've constantly found a way that constantly shows you that these two do not work together. They don't. And also, you're on the last legs of Al Horford. You're going to have to find a new big. You're on the last legs of Al Horford. You're going to have to find a new big.
And the thing is, though, what's interesting is that they have the same problem.
Which is
funny to me.
The Nets probably did want a little bit more than JB, and the Celtics probably want to give it up. But at that point right now, if you want to maximize your championship window, you got to do it. You got to do it because obviously this one is not going to be working. The way the second half of the season went for the Celtics and so far in these playoffs is just indicative of the fact that this team just has problems that they're probably never going to figure out. And the motto for these playoffs is it's going to teach us, it's going to tell us a lot of what we need to know because this is one of the first full healthy seasons for a lot of teams. This is the first full season, full offseason teams have had in a while because even last year, I think right now the conference finals was in June, right? The conference finals was in June. So even that offseason was a little bit short.
Yeah.
Yeah, the offseason. So this is the first full season and the playoffs. No more excuses for nobody. KD showed us who he is. Jokic has shown us who he is. AD showing us who he is. And James Harden has shown us who he is, and we have to accept it. And finally, Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown are showing you who the hell they are. The Miami Heat are showing you who the hell they are. You can't make any more excuses.
Well,
There's
with
no
this
more excuses.
playoffs, yeah.
It's too many bad runs. It's too many bad runs. These are showing you exactly who they are. You have to start just realizing that you can't win with these guys. You can't.
And it's not only that, it's also the idea that I feel like this is something fair to be said. Super teams are dead.
They've been
There's
dead
no
for a
point in a
while.
super team. Yeah, but like this is official because a bunch of teams still want to trade to get super teams that don't work. For the most part, you need good coaching. I feel like that's a must because we've seen it in because the only coach I'd say did a decent job against Spo was Thibodeau. Thibodeau was like the one guy who did decent.
About Thibodeau is that he didn't even do a good job. The only thing he did a good job of kicking Jimmy's ankle out. The series would have been over in 4 if he didn't do that. He would have gotten baked like everybody.
Hey,
He was the only guy that decided to double Jimmy the entire game. We also got lucky enough that for some reason that's the one series that shooters decided not to hit shots. But again, Jimmy was still cooking out. Jimmy was still cooking out even on the bum ankle while getting double teamed. You just got lucky that this series went to 6. None of these coaches even came close to doing anything to Spo. None of them come close to our coaching him. None of them. Even Ime last year, that didn't come close. Yeah. He just got lucky.
But he did enough. Like, listen, for me, right? I feel like one thing that a guy like Thibodeau did that was good is like not getting in Jalen Brunson's way. You know, because Jalen Brunson was the only reason that Knicks team even had a shot in that series to win a game. I mean, Jalen Brunson was the reason he is that team.
You can't get in his way because he's your only semblance of offense. You can't get in his way. You live and die by him. If you take the ball out of his hands, the series is over. So he needed to do it. But another thing, you shouldn't need Jalen Brunson 48 minutes when you have another 25-point per game scorer on the roster that just decides to disappear in the playoffs. But, I digress on the Knicks because they're already out. And I'm already pissed enough at how that series went. But, Michael, I think you're going to love this post-game press conference to Jaylen Brown. Did Grant Williams make a mistake poking the bear with Jimmy Butler? What do you think Jaylen Brown said?
He probably said something about.
He only said 2 words.
I don't know.
He only said 2 words. What were those 2 words?
No comment.
Next question.
Next question. All right, close enough.
He didn't want to say yes, but that's obvious. But obviously, that's a part where you say no. Oh my gosh! The thing is,
it's not even. If anything, he should have defended his teammate at least. Jeez.
I don't even think. Again, he doesn't look like he likes Boston, and you don't defend. You can't defend some of the bull he did, bro. You're playing well. You have this lead. You see what happens to Jrue Holiday. You see what happened to Julius Randle and other guys when they poke the bear. Why would you do it? Why would you do it? Oh my gosh, Jimmy's been going great. Jimmy
was crazy as we saw it earlier with Dylan Brooks. So
but that was with LeBron. I understand Jimmy doesn't command the same respect as I guess LeBron. But the thing about is like you had the game in hand. You already know you're getting in for a dogfight of a series, and you're getting in for your first couple minutes. Why the hell would you open your mouth? Why? You're dumb.
Yeah. Because the thing is, it's not like Jimmy Butler. He was playing like decent or solid throughout the whole game, pretty much. And it didn't look like he was going to turn it on.
He wasn't going nuclear. He wasn't going nuclear like he already. Oh, and the moment you open your mouth, he's okay. Cool. Time to put these boys away.
Yeah, because honestly, I felt like the way the game was going at the time, I felt like he was going to try and get his guys more involved at that point. He was going to try to get other people to start pitching in more. And then as soon as that happened, it's like, okay, my bad. I gotta, game time, fourth quarter. I'm the star player. I'm winning this game, and that's what he did. And then after that, his teammates rallied behind that. Gabe Vincent, Max Strus, Bam, and they all just said, "All right, open the floodgates. We're winning this game." Duncan Robinson,
Mhm.
forgot to mention the goat shooter, goat
Look,
shooter of the Miami Heat podcast.
I was 4 years old when the Heat won their first championship in '06. I was four. I was four. Yeah, I was four when the Heat won their first championship. But I was there for both Big Three championships. I've been there since '08. Right? I've seen what the Heat did in
Right.
those Big Three era. I see what we did in the bubble. This season, this playoff run is the most special shit I've ever seen in my life. I don't even think
Yeah.
Dirk's run compares to. I don't even think Dirk's run compared to this. Right? Dirk was, I think, was playing better. I think he had to go through the Lakers. He had to go to the Thunder. I don't even. Dirk's run. He was
I
playing
forget what the
better
last team.
competition, but not only did he have a better team. Not only did he have a better team, but overall, is this run is just
To be fair though,
right
he
now.
did lose Caron Butler, who was his like third best scorer, I think, on that team. So that
All
was
right,
something
maybe
where
okay. No,
Dirk.
okay. Outside of 2011, because maybe that's a toss up. Every other playoff runs, not even Kawhi's compares to this. This is probably the most special
Well,
playoff run I've ever seen.
for me, it was just I don't know. It's hard to say, especially because it's not over yet. I mean, just off of because again, it's just that Dirk got the chip at the end. So this is something where you can't really start comparing it until it's over, because then you could get the
All right.
full scape, and then once you get
Also, trolling
the
aside, Bill Simmons is right in the sense that hanging this loss on Grant Williams is ridiculous. Yes, it's funny to me,
yes,
but Jimmy's consistently done this to every single team in the playoffs anyway, so he probably was planning on doing this either freaking way. And the Celtics have done this all the time, damn time, but they just get out executed and outplayed in the fourth quarter. So I get, yes, blaming all on Grant Williams is dumb because you
is
have somebody
ridiculous.
there that
Yes,
shot 7 for 23. You have somebody there that went 0 for 3 in the fourth quarter with 3 turnovers.
he's not your
But
superstar and he's not your coach.
yes,
That's what I'm
but
saying.
still, very stupid thing to do. Very, very stupid thing to do. Nonetheless, very stupid thing to do.
Yeah, I mean, dude, it's because for me, it's just like there's again, everyone talks about it, and I 100% agree. How many years is it going to take to where Jason Tatum learns to have control at the end of games? Because it just every time it just looks like he's a mess. He doesn't, he can't handle it. You know what I mean? And it just happens a lot. He does it consistently, and that's something where he's supposed to be the next the next coming of like these guys. He's a part of the next generation of top five players. For me right now, I don't have him in my top five because I have certain players above him. But he's supposed for most of the NBA fan base to feel like he's either in that conversation already or he's a step away. And performances like this, where again, it's not like he's playing bad. He played good the whole game, but then disappears in the quarter again. So it's not something that you can keep on excusing. Where it's like at a certain point they're going to start. They keep bringing. So he's only 25. If he starts doing this when he's 29, if he's still doing this when he's 29, then what's the point? You know what I mean? I feel like he's he's been the best player. How long has he been the best player on this Boston team?
Jason Tatum,
Yeah, how long has he been the best player on this Boston team?
2019.
2019. So that's 4 years. You know,
Do you think Grant
4 years
Williams
is
would be a he was been all NBA. He's been all NBA for 3 years, and he's been all NBA first team for 2 years. Um, do you guys think Grant would be a good fit for the Heat next year because he's a free agent after this? And I would think like a team would like him on the team, but he can't talk to superstars like that. No, in the sense that Grant Williams, the problem with Grant Williams is that yes, he was playing well off Tatum this game, but you rarely get these type of performances from him. And the fact that the matter is the same disease that plagues Tatum and Jaylen Brown down the stretch, where they just forget how to play basketball down the stretch of games. Grant Williams has that in bunches. He has that in bunches.
yeah.
He makes dumb mistakes, gets in stupid foul trouble. Yes, he's a big bot, but his IQ is nowhere near there to play in a Heat system like this. Yes, he has the dog in him. he has the dog in him. He's willing to fight back. He's willing to talk, and that's definitely Heat reminiscent. But he doesn't have the IQ to play. He doesn't have the IQ to play on this Heat team.
No, a lot of these Heat players are obviously specialists in their own right. They can do something very well. They're also a very mixed bag of, because again, the main thing with Spoelstra is he likes to be creative. He likes to throw in different lineups. He likes to test the waters throughout the season. And I just don't see Grant Williams being an addition that would make much sense,
He'd most likely start
especially
for us, and I don't like that. So
because for me, it's like a guy like him would be taking away from a guy like Smith's development, as
the
another.
guy
He's
I
probably going
want,
to be
the guy
over
he,
Highsmith in a year or two. He's going to be older.
the guy I want to see the Heat run after like with open arms is Brook Lopez because his contract is up. That's the guy I want to see the Heat go after.
Oh
Full
well, yeah,
force.
because Brook
You
Lopez
put
would be a literal perfect fit on this team.
exactly. Screw Grant Williams. Get if whatever money we can't have, whatever trade we can make to open up some cap space, get Brook Lopez on this damn team. But at the end of the day, I don't know what to say in the stream. We've talked about almost every single storyline in this game. We talked about some of the X's and O's. We talked about the net. Again, I'd like to reiterate this. Stephen A. Smith, Shannon Sharp, Chris Broussard, all of ESPN, all of those guys. For the people, every single time the Heat win a game, the conversation is, what did the other team do wrong? Oh my God, how can the Heat keep doing this? They're less talented than anybody else they face. Yada, yada, yada. What do you got to say now? I want you to point to me. What makes the Celtics more talented than the Miami Heat right now? Because all I'm seeing is the better team whooping these guys over and over and hitting timely shots. What better shooter does the Boston Celtics have on their team than Duncan Robinson, Max Strus? And with the defense Max Strus is playing, what other player other than maybe Derek White, and he hasn't even playing that good, that's better than Max Strus right now? That's not Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, or Marcus Smart for the Celtics right now than Max Strus. Jimmy Butler has been the best player in the series, and Bam Adebayo has been the third best player in the series behind Jason Tatum right now. Right now in this series. What players on the Boston Celtics can you say is more talented and are better than the ones on the Heat roster right now? Tell me that without having this clouded lens of not only the regular. Look what you've seen the past month and a half. Don't think about what you saw in the regular season for the Heat team that was honestly just in some dogfights with some really bad teams that shouldn't. Didn't we lose all 4 games against the Pistons this year? Or we lost 3 out of the 4 against the Pistons this year?
I believe we did.
I'm pretty sure we did.
Yeah, no, I
right?
think we lost all of them. No,
exactly. Games like that is what the Heat. Games like that is the Heat. The Heat throughout the season was literally just trolling. At this point, they were just trolling throughout the entire season. There's games I can only think of a handful of games that you saw this type of effort from this Heat team.
Actually,
the problem with the Heat constantly.
No, we got blown out once by them.
Yeah. The problem with this Heat team sometimes is that Jimmy, along with the rest of them, not only they play down to their competition they play down to their competition, and especially Jimmy when he sees an inferior opponent, for some reason he just doesn't get revved up to send those guys home very, very fast. You only see this when he knows he has to, and that's what you're gonna see. And you got to see that you're gonna see this for the rest of the playoffs because he's playing against the best teams in the league, obviously. But this team consistently played out of the competition the entire regular season. If this team won some of those games that they definitely should have won, this was easy be another 50-win season. They just down the stretch of some of those games, they just couldn't pull them out. And there's certain games they should have pulled away on that they didn't. Not to mention injuries keeping certain guys out. I don't want to give an excuse for the Heat because for a good 75% of the season, they just looked like they weren't the same team. But let's not sit here and act like what we've seen for the playoffs all year and how good this team is and how talented these guys is and how the Heat develop these guys and how they maximize their talent isn't better than what the Boston Celtics have right now. Caleb Martin, all that man is an in-between game, and he's already one of the more valuable role players in the game. He gets the in-between game where he can hit some pull-up middies here and there. Oh my God.
You see
right now going this offseason, I think him, Strus, and Gabe's contract is up. If we got to sign only 2 of them and let one walk, it's got to be Caleb and it's got to be Max. But I would like to sign all 3. Also, I say that, Mike, because if we're able to win a championship this season, I don't care who you pay, because guess what? Kyle Lowry and Duncan Robinson's contract are up next season. Wait, no, Duncan. Don't we have a team option for that? Don't we have a team option the last year though? Or is the player
I
option?
have no idea.
Let me
I
check that right
forget.
now.
I don't remember how they set it up. But I mean, one other thing though is like the thing is Miami doesn't necessarily need to sign need to sign all of these guys because again we've seen it every year. They can pull these guys out
The
of a
thing
hat.
about it is, Mike, that we saw it last playoff run when these guys don't get certain minutes, or they when they're first in these playoff environments, they don't necessarily respond well. That's why you saw all of them just drop in their 3-point percentage. Now they're way more seasoned. This is why I want to resign them because they're seasoned in the playoffs. They know this. If we sign a couple new guys, it's going to take another year or another playoff run for them to get to this level. We're able to win this year. I don't mind paying these guys because we have because let me look at Duncan's contract. Signed a 2-way contract,
Well, again, I
partially
wasn't
guaranteed.
saying let them all go. I'm just saying it's not necessarily a horrible thing
Oh, and it's
if
a
we
full
let one or two
guaranteed
men
contract.
go. If we
It's a full guaranteed contract. But again, as long as again Duncan's Robinson contract, if we can move that, and Kyle's contract is expiring next season, after next season too, that's about 40 to $50 million freed up in cash space after that. So I really do not care of the fact if we win this year and we pay these guys. I do not care. As long as one Max doesn't get more than 18 million, 17, 18 million a year.
yeah, we
Caleb,
that's the key though. We
Caleb,
cannot overpay.
yeah, none of these guys
Cannot
do
overpay.
not give any of these guys 20 mil a season. I swear to God, do not give any collectively. Collectively a year for their contract should match up to what we'll lose once Duncan and Kyle is off the books collectively. So collectively there should be Gabe 10 12 mil a year.
Like
He's
48
not a good
million,
enough.
right?
Huh?
Think about that right?
10 to 12 Gabe 10 to 12 million a year at most. Max, he's a specialist, but damn, that defense is getting good. That defense is getting real good. And if he continues to get better on the defensive end like he is right now, we may have to pay him that 15 around the 15 mil area. And Caleb's getting that 15 mil. I don't care what if there's one of them that we probably have to maybe like slip a 20 mil season into somewhere, it's gonna be Caleb, and I'm okay with that. One
Well, because he
thing
has
that this Heat
legitimate.
team is also,
Yeah.
not to mention, we have our Serbian god bulking up, getting ready for his second season next year, Nikola Jovic. We have a draft pick this year that we can use to get another nice utility player. The Heat knows how to recognize talent in the NBA draft. I haven't looked at the mock drafts yet, so I haven't looked at a couple of guys. Um
I would love to
uh
pick up a Miami Hurricane player because it's my favorite team.
um but yeah, we do need to get, well, I lost my train of thought. Yeah, we have draft picks coming up in this draft too. And with the way Caleb, with the way Max, the way Gabe are playing, they're and Duncan is upping his trade value again. We're giving ourselves, these guys are playing themselves that even if we lose in the finals, they played themselves into being good assets. They played themselves into being positive assets for any of the team that wants to look at us. And Tyler is also our most positive asset. Kyle is, even though he had a bad game this time, throughout most of the playoffs, he's been consistent. And he's also playing to the point where he looks like he can be a positive for any of the team that wants to make that trade too.
Yeah,
One
get
I
that veteran
love about
presence.
playoffs is that even though we're winning and we may win a championship this year, all these guys are playing their trade value up. They're playing their trade value up, and I
Extremely,
love it. And
extremely.
that's looking for a great off season for us. And maybe the league hasn't learned yet that you should not trade for Miami Heat guys that look like they're playing above what they're supposed to, because they only do that on the Heat. But hopefully they haven't learned yet, and they continue to do that.
Yeah, let's hope the Tyler Johnson effect doesn't catch on to the rest of the league yet. So, yeah, but and another thing, but just to because we had forgotten about this guy, but make sure to get Brooke Lopez if we can get Brooke Lopez because I feel like he's
I said
extremely
that, Mike,
key.
but I don't know how unless we do trade Duncan. Unless we trade Duncan and then sign Brook before because we have all those guys bird right, so we can go over the cap to sign them, obviously. So
Yeah,
the only way to do that is if we find a way to trade either Kyle or Gabe or Kyle or Duncan or both of them, make some cap space, sign Brook Lopez, and then go over the cap to re-sign the other guys. That's the only way we have a chance of doing it. If we don't do that, he's just gonna ask for too much money that we can't pay him.
but I feel like, and for me especially, because again, Tyler Hero's going to be a big part of this team going forward. I'm looking past this playoffs. he has to be a big part of this team. And you've already seen he doesn't play necessarily the best with a guy like Kyle Lowry. So I feel like getting a big like Brook Lopez will complement his game more, will complement this team more.
Yeah, especially with how effective he is in the pick and roll. With Bam, adding another big that can be a target for him, get him some more reps in the pick and roll he can be your starting point guard.
Exactly, but you got to have that center there. If you got that player that could play with him as well, you got multiple targets, then you can start utilizing him better. Because I feel like Kyle Lowry's kind of run his course, especially with Tyler there. And considering they paid Tyler all that money, he's got to be the contract is due. You got to utilize it. Yeah,
Jimmy right now is talking trash. He said, "Ain't no way they thought that was the answer." I'm not gonna lie. I'm pretty sure the Celtics didn't think Grant Williams was the answer either. He just did that by himself. I'm sorry, Jimmy. You're talking your own shit. You're buying into your own shit with our love, but that's some unneeded slander on the Celtics. Grant Williams just did that. He just went rogue and he did that stupidly. That was not the Celtics' fault. The moment you scored at him twice, Jason Tatum's like,
yeah.
"All right, get the hell off of him. I'm guarding him. You are not doing this right now." Like, I don't think you can blame the Celtics for what Grant Williams just did dolo by himself, Jimmy. But keep buying into your own shit. I'll tell you if you need to hear. Yes, Grant Williams did it on purpose. They thought that was the answer. If that helps you, I don't care.
That was the answer. They thought they could outpsych Jimmy Butler. I
Not even
don't know
outpsych
what
him. I don't know.
fucking playoffs they
You
were
hit
watching.
1-3 to go up. You're already down 0-1 in the series. You hit 1-3 to go up, and you're writing checks for your superstars to sign. I hate when Jermichael Green did it to LeBron to Steph Curry. Dylan Brooks did it to Ja, Desmond Bain, and Jaren Jackson Jr. Who else? Who else has been writing checks for other just role players? Drake said it best. Role players talking like starters. I hate it. You stop doing this, bro.
I'm pretty
Drew
sure there
Holiday.
was.
Drew Holiday is a great player, but again, writing checks that Giannis has to sign.
To be fair though, I feel like Jimmy was starting that more than Drew was. I think Drew was just trying to play defense, and then Jimmy just started yapping at him the entire
Just being an
time.
asshole.
Yeah, pretty much. I don't think that. Yeah, because typically Drew isn't like that. He's pretty quiet. So I just assume that Jimmy started it,
Hey
and
man,
I'd have to guess.
I think at this point, I think none of the Celtics has been talking shit to Jimmy. So Jimmy's like, I need to find somebody to get me fired up. Who? Grant, you come here. What's up? What's up? What's up?
No, but Grant legitimately started that though, because
Oh,
yeah,
stupidly.
yeah, he started it, and you got to be willing to finish your trash talk. But players like Grant Williams clearly cannot. Um, maybe if I
And
saw that out of a Tatum and then he started balling out, then maybe. But
And the thing
Grant
about the
Williams.
series, again, people are all talking about, oh my God, I still have this. Can the Celtics win 4 in a row against this Miami Heat team? Can they come back? Every single time we get up on a team, they're always talking about they can make some amazing comeback. I'm gonna give you a news flash here. No, the fuck they're not. They're not doing it. I'm sorry to tell you. Y'all keep looking at this team like they're an eighth seed.
No, they
They're
keep
not.
looking at this team like we're the Sixers, which makes zero sense. I feel like up to this point we've kind of shown that we're not, James Harden and Joel Embiid.
Yeah,
We're,
no,
we're not
stop.
chokers.
Stop looking at this Heat team like they're an eighth seed. Stop looking at this Heat team like they're an eighth seed. You keep doing. Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum and Marcus Smart know what's up. The first round after we beat Milwaukee, they asked them, did you really think Miami was going to make that upset? And the first thing they said is, I don't really think that would be an upset. Really, they know what this Heat team is about. Just stop. Stop looking at this team like an AC. Look at this team that's going to get the job done when they need to. Look at this team as one of the best teams in the league. Look at this team as one of the most well-coached teams in the league. That's what you're supposed to look at them. Not some team that can drop. The Heat have been the most mentally tough team in these playoffs. And for some reason, people think at some point they're going to crumble. I don't know how every single other team in the playoffs has shown some type of mental lapse outside the Nuggets. Every other team in the playoffs so far has shown some type of mental lapse. The Heat and Nuggets are the only two teams that are shown that they're mentally tough throughout the entire playoffs so far. And for some reason,
Yeah, we
for the
don't
Heat,
blow
they,
leads.
for some reason, they keep thinking that these teams can find a way to come back against the Heat. I'm gonna give you newsflash: it's not happening. It's not. But thank y'all for tuning into the stream. It wasn't as crazy as yesterday, but we had a lot more likes, surprisingly. I love that y'all tuned in. But with that being said, Mike, thank you for coming on. This probably would have only been like 30 minutes if I did it by myself. But
Yeah,
with
for
that being
sure.
said, this is FLB. That is my time, and I am out.